which is rather good news. Unless you don't like tanks, in which case, get the hell off of my channel. But seriously, tanks are here for everybody. I'm here in the Panzer IV F2. Rather nice tank. Nice gun. The main thing with tanks is, well, there isn't a main thing. I suppose there's a few main things that makes up driving a tank well. Obviously, the basic controls, I'll go over those first, just in case you don't know how to drive the tank. This is the default controls, by the way. W is advance, S is reverse, A left, D right, but also if you're going forward you can press reverse and that'll stop you, that'll brake. That acts like a brake. Control the mouse with the turret, left click is fire, and just like with the planes, you can hold down C, that's C for me anyway, and look around the tank. Press V to switch to the gunner's view, the scope. Press Z, or Z if you're American. Press Z to zoom in further. V again to go back outside, the third person view. There's no third person view in simulator battles, there's just this view here, which is the commander's view, which I changed to by pressing Z. And there's the sniper gunner view. Okay, that's the basic controls. To change shell types, as you can see at the bottom there.
Load hollow charge! Load APCR! Load high explosive! Load armor piercing!
Yeah, courtesy of our our Irish tank commander. Why did Gaijin give us an Irish tank commander? I mean, I've got nothing against the Irish, but they don't really have a history of armoured warfare. Although they did provide Britain and the Commonwealth with some very brave soldiers, so I'll give them that. But yeah, use your number keys to change shell types. But those are the bare necessities, those are the basics. We can now move on to where to shoot a tank. Now obviously, you can shoot a tank anywhere, and you'll probably do damage, if you've got enough penetration. But there are certain places on a tank you can maximise the potential damage you can cause. So, if we zoom in on this Panzer II here, you can see that's the driver's view slit there, that very narrow bar of steel. That's the commander's cupola. That's one of the driver's vision ports. Turret, hull, track. So if we shoot at the driver's vision port here, we've killed all three crew because this gun is fires quite a large shell. But if you fire into the weak spots on the front of a tank, or the slits, or the viewports, you're more likely to kill a member of the tank's crew. Also, there's you can cause damage to the tank itself. For example, the engine, the ammunition racks, the fuel tank, so on and so forth. With most tanks, the ammunition is stored in the side, towards the bottom, sometimes in the middle, sometimes in the side of the turret. So along here, in the middle, perhaps around the turret, if the tank is equipped with stowage in the turret. The engine there, fuel tanks around that area. So if we fire right here, that was an ammo rack explosion. You don't get turrets blowing up in World of Tanks. You don't get fire effects, they're quite that nice either. So you can cause an ammo rack detonation, just like in World of Tanks, and that will be fatal. Sometimes the ammo rack can sustain some damage without exploding, but that's quite uncommon. Generally, if the ammo rack is hit, it will explode. You can penetrate a tank and do no damage, so the shell can pass straight through without hitting anything vital. That happens, you can tell when that happens because you'll be rewarded with a hit and you'll have credits and XP appear, but the tank won't. There will be no critical damage that will appear on the right hand side. So this is a Panther here. Another weak spot on most tanks. This is the lower glasses here, the lower hull. That's the upper glasses. The lower hull on the Panther is thinner than the upper hull, which is the case with most vehicles like the T-34 or the King Tiger that have a split glasses. That was just really to save weight, because it's a smaller target, it's going to take less fire, so making it thinner you can save weight without really compromising protection too much, unless the person firing at you, the tank firing at you, is at close range. So as you can see here, we're quite close. So if we fire the top plate here, we bounced off, because the top plate on the Panther is 80mm, but the bottom here I believe is only 60. I may be wrong on that, but the point is it's thinner. So if we fire at this, you can see we've penetrated, we've destroyed the transmission, we've wounded the driver, and we've wounded the gunner, machine gunner. But they're not dead, so they'll still be able to operate their positions. So yeah, the lower glasses is a weak spot on most tanks. The turret manlet, this area here, that protects the gun, the inner workings of the gun, the breech, and the crew that are working behind it. But it's quite thin on the Panther, relatively thin. Obviously if we were further away we'd be having more trouble, because I've literally just fired right in the middle there. The Panther's turret curves towards the top, see we bounce there, and it bounces, it curves at the bottom, but that creates a shot trap. I don't know if that's modelled in game, but we bounce there. And the commander's coupler is usually a well-armoured part of the tank. Not extremely well-armoured, but enough to bounce shots from a distance. As you can see, I just killed the commander, because we're at close range, so didn't really have a chance to bounce. Another feature, mainly of German tanks, is the Schürzen here, or armoured skirts. These square patches of metal. Those protect the side of the hull underneath the sponson. The sponson is the area of the hull that sticks out. Okay. I didn't mean to do that, but I was trying to show you. Beneath the Schürzen there's the side of the hull that goes inwards beneath the sponson. As you can see there, the hull kind of sticks out above the tracks. There's a very thin area of armour beneath the sponsons on either side. Like the Jagdtiger all the way over there. Let's see if we can hit it. There's another thing. You have to raise the barrel to make longer shots, because obviously gravity pulls the shell downwards. In arcade battles you get a marker to help you, but in realistic and simulator you have to learn to compensate for yourself. You may find it difficult, but you can see the notches along the center, the y-axis, going downwards. If you make a reference point, say that tree there, put the longer notch in the middle. See, we fell a bit short. Let's try the next notch along, and you keep going until your shot hits the target. That's that was a bit better. Okay, so that's the basics of shooting and the basics of weak spots. What else is there? And this is the time I really kick myself for not writing a script, but then I thought, should I really script this? I mean, if I don't trust myself, I shouldn't be telling other people how to play the game. But maybe I'm taking this all too seriously, because it is a game. But, nice graphics. I can recommend War Thunder Ground Forces if you're a World of Tanks player, or if you're not a World of Tanks player. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, that's the basics. See you soon.